Hiya Nathan, well done yesterday. Hope you found the assessment helpful. For me, it certainly gives me a lot of input to see what we can do then going forward. Actually put a plan in place to discuss what we're going to look at for the future lessons to try and get that score underneath 100 on a regular basis. And from what I saw last night, pretty confident we can get down even below 90 on a regular basis in due course. So just a few things that I'm going to sort of notify here to show you. There was a pretty good routine. There's definitely some kind of sequence there with putting the club down first, putting your hands. One thing I prefer to see is both hands on the club before you kind of start setting your feet, only because you're setting your distance from the golf ball now before your right hand goes on the golf club, and then your right hand actually has to go further than your left hand. So they will create a little bit of a stretch now for your right arm to reach. Now in terms of the setup, what we'd like to try and see is people looking at target. Once that club's gone down here now, at no point do you actually look at the target on this one. Now actually what you do is, we'll notice somebody walks past, you look up to see that person, so just a bit of distraction which can be easily done on the first tee, especially a bit of first tee nerves, that kind of stuff, or when the shot was difficult. So we can try and get into a sort of routine. You can see now sort of trying to get your distance from the golf ball here now, shuffling around there, getting yourself set into position. Okay, now in terms of set, they're not too bad. Alignment with the body's a little bit off to the right there, but your top half is actually going to target. Just a little thing to sort of notice now. This will be something we'll look at in the long game as you come back down. Part of the reason why most of your shots are going to be off to the right, if we look at the angle of your club shaft here at setup, as you come back to the golf ball, there's quite a lot of rising up with the hands. The shaft now getting very, very steep. Because of the shaft getting steep, the face now being left wide open, and that's where your golf ball's going to generally get. And as a result of that, you're trying to sort of square the club face up, and just there's not enough chance. The ball's been given the information now to the golf ball's been given here. That ball's going right. No matter what you do with your hands now, you could roll your forearms, as people might say, or try and do whatever it may be. The information has been given, so that ball's going off to the right there. And it's again a pretty good balanced follow-through position, a little bit high with the left elbow, but other than that, not too bad. But yeah, just a couple of things there in terms of sort of setup. We're going to try and tidy up. There is a routine there. I think on occasions when there was a little bit of, I'd say, nerves, maybe the first tee nerves, and or a difficult shot, the fairway gets quite narrow and quite tight. There wasn't much of a sort of a look at target. On the second hole, on another video we saw, you actually did look at target nicely 2 or 3 times, getting yourself set up and really got yourself pinpointed to where you were going. The other thing in terms of your routine now, if we look here at your setup, you sort of set to the golf ball here now, do all your pre-shots up, looking at target again. Now at this position, I would say you are set to the golf ball. Your club's next to the golf ball. Now, a couple of things you would tweak in terms of this setup, in terms of how your with the stance and everything else. But if you just watch the practice swing you make now, you kind of make a practice swing, okay, swing back, intentionally miss the ball on the inside, as we can see here now. That club's coming back now, missing the ball, and then swinging through. Now the logic would be, if you've made a practice swing with your club here, if then when we go back to the golf ball, the club's got to move that much over, therefore your feet need to move that much over. What we see a lot of times is people set themselves up to the golf ball and then at the last second think, oh, I must do a practice swing. Well, okay, I'll just swing my arms, make some movement. Now at no point from this movement afterwards do you move your feet or readjust. You just put the golf club back down to where it started in the original pick. So basically your practice swing was an encouragement of missing the golf ball, bringing your arms into your body and just striking the ground on the inside. Now as it turned out, you had the shot pretty good, so it wasn't much of an issue. But if that's kind of the routine and the habits that you've got, you can see it's going to leave some issues there in terms of consistency, because your practice swing has got no rehearsal or no relevance to the shot you want to try and hit. So just those kind of things we'll just try and tidy up, obviously pre-shot. Like I say, I see a lot of people thinking over the golf ball. I kind of utilise a bit of space behind the ball here now, so when we stand here behind the ball, do all our thinking in this area, looking where the ball wants to go, things we want to try and avoid, whether it be bunkers, trees, bushes, whatever it may be, and pick your target, pick your club, and then once you kind of cross over this line to play the shot, it's autopilot mode. We don't want to be thinking about too much over the golf ball. We've just done all the prepping work before the shot, then when we cross over, we just do it. So there's some things to be looking at as we go through the next session. Certainly looking at your long game there. Your short game for the most part was pretty good. There was some good sort of a judgment around the green on some of the shots we saw. Obviously we can tidy those things up a little bit and get even better, but for the most part we can get that long game working a little better, get that ball back onto the fairway a bit more and not hitting the ball too far to the right, and also get some of those hybrids in the bag, utilising them as we saw on the 18th there, get some distance down the fairway up to 200 yards. I say breaking 100 will be very easy, and then breaking 90 will be the next goal going forward. So Hope that all makes sense, and I say found it enjoyable yesterday. We'll get on the golf course, or get on the driving range first session, so if you send some dates through to me, we can have a look at the diary and see what's available, and get them in the diary, then we can look at your long game going forward. So hope all I said has made sense, and you kind of agree with what we said, and look forward to working with you and getting those scores down. Okay mate, all the best.